Welcome back, everybody. Is it tonight or is it Monday? That's all there is left, that somebody's going to get this cup. New Jersey Devils lead the series 3-2. Eddie Belfour, the chant Eddie, Eddie has been going on for about 20 minutes.
Gary, the odds of these two goaltenders playing here being as good as they were in Game 5 are not that good. The odds of one of them being as good, greater. The question is, which one will it be?
And Martin Brodeur looking for his 50th career playoff win. And his wife Melody, who we saw the other night, going through more agony, I think, than Martin Brodeur did. She is here on this trip, and she's hiding. She can't bear to watch.
Which begs the question, why did she make the trip?
But she is a loyal spouse. Face off at center, Mike Modano comes out to take it. Game 6 is underway. Devils win, and the cup comes out. A Dallas win, and we go back for Game 7 in New Jersey on Monday. Off the far side, Rafalski and Stevens out here together. Jamie Langenbrunner not playing in tonight's game. The knee was not well enough to get him out there. In the middle, that one blocked out deep off Jason Arnott. And the two top offensive lines go right back against one another tonight. And Scott Stevens remains out there on the ice whenever Mike Modano makes an appearance. That's the way it's been throughout this series. Not much is going to change in this one. Poke checked away. Ken Hitchcock said, however, Scott Stevens is going to play against him. He better be ready to play 30 minutes because Modano's coming out every second shift.
And that definitely will happen because Ken Hitchcock is going to play 4 lines, but he only has 3 centers dressed. Roman Lyashenko, the rookie that did not play 1 shift in overtime in Game 5 is a scratch. Blake Sloan is in. That means there are only 3 centers, so Modano and Nieuwendyk will play a ton.
They will get a lot of ice time tonight. Played back by Malakoff. Niedermeyer back to him in the middle. Malakoff moving it up ice for the Devils. Near side, Jay Pandolfo. Pandolfo has had just 4 assists in this playoff year. And Jay Pandolfo can score, but he's not been heard from. Far side, Thornton. Danico stepped up to try and hold it in. Got help from Lemieux. His shot blocked out deep. Rolled to center. Good play by Danico to get back. Danico rarely pinches early in a game. That time he was way down the right side wall. Off the near side, played up by Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer, Pandolfo ran into him from behind. Devils changing. Eddie Belfour cleared it around the far side. Tipped high in the air at center and knocked down by Randy McKay. McKay says, finally I see the ice. He did not play in the overtime and offside on Dallas. A late shot, but it's hard to hear the whistle here. The fans have not stopped roaring since the drop of the puck. And I think that was just play going on. They didn't hear it.
Well, the war of words has finally begun between the two coaches. After Game 5, Larry Robinson said, we are the fresher team. Why? Because Ken Hitchcock overplayed his key people. Ken Hitchcock, when hearing that, said, tell Larry Robinson to mind his own business. This is my team. And there's no question Ken Hitchcock pushed Mike Modano to the max. Check this out. More ice time than any of the defensemen. Rarely does that happen. Jaromir Jagr is the only other player in the NHL you ever see that has more ice time than any of his defensemen. Mike Modano had more than Hatcher, more than Matvichuk, more than any of his teammates in Game 5.
But he didn't have the most in the game.
No.
Isn't that amazing?
Not. Well, that tells you how much Larry Robinson is going to focus on matching Scott Stevens against him because Stevens had most of the ice time. Oh, a little stick to the head there. Bobby Holik on Richard Matvichuk. Accidental or not, it wasn't seen, therefore it wasn't called.
Picked up a little ice here being, that's the reason for the delay. They had to fix a little up. Dump back in behind the net. Terry Gregson, Bill McCurry, our referees tonight. Gord Brosker, Dan Shakti are the linesmen working tonight's game. Cleared out. Swept up, Nemchinov brings it in. He's got Madden in front. Nemchinov to Madden. Right through the crease. Colin White shot it wide. Had a chance, didn't get it on net. And it rolls back to center. Nemchinov at the end of a shift had the break. Colin White got the rebound near side. Devils trying to put the heat on early. In the middle, again, Randy McKay was out. Breland's got it. Breland looking into the middle for Madden. Tipped it up on the point. Rafalski. That one was blocked wide. No time in the overtime for number 21. And Randy McKay has been out 2 shifts already in this game. Maybe Robinson figures he's fired him up enough. Modano down the middle, stripped of the puck. Cleared up the near side. That was Stevens again. Here comes Gomez. We open up flying. Gomez a chance. hit the outside of the net and off the blocker of Eddie Belfour. Both teams opening up like they did not play 3 overtime games a little over a day ago. Gomez trying to move in, made a nice move to get in along the near side wall. Bouncing puck, Zubov could not clear. Braylon held it in. Sador down on the ice, still trying to get up. Can't. Gomez centered. They're one short here, and they need to get the puck out. They go. Shot safe. Belfour and Braylon. Rebound. Shot wide by McGilly. Sador's literally crawling to the front of the net. He is crawling, and now a whistle as Bill McCrary blows it. Daryl Sador came from the near side boards out by the blue line and crawled to the front of the net when he realized play was going to go on.
Gary, it looks like he's grabbing his knee. A tough spot for the refs to be in. They want to wait till Dallas gains possession until they blow it, unless it is a very serious injury. Now, a knee, I guess they figure that is one thing. If it's a facial injury, possibly an eye, then you know they're going to blow it down. And oh, man. Daryl Sador got all twisted up. His leg looked like a pretzel underneath him, and he was in immediate pain. And the pain didn't go away. Here he is trying to make his way to the front. And then the reason he kept this up, what an effort by Sador, because the whistle was not blowing. You got to know Daryl Sador's at least trying to drag his carcass to the front of the net so that he might be able to block a shot, even if he's down. Oh, what a magnificent effort by Daryl Sador, even with the pain.
You will see that shot until hell freezes over, and as long as the Stanley Cup is awarded. You will see that shot, Daryl Sador crawling to the front of the net whenever anyone asks what the Stanley Cup is all about.
Exactly.
Right there.
That is hockey.
And then there's a little language going on as Stevens and Hatcher get into it. I think Dallas thinks there was a knee-to-knee with Gomez. Hatcher was looking for Gomez when he came on the ice. And Stevens stepped in because it was Gomez who ran into Sador. But as you saw in the replay, I think it was what happened after the contact when that knee went underneath Sador.
Well, you see that Sador moved to take Gomez, and that is how slippery the rookie Scott Gomez is. Look at the knee under him, or it may be his ankle. It could be his knee. It is the left leg of Sador, but Scott Gomez just did one of his great evasive moves to get away from him. Now, this is crucial, depending on whether or not Sador can come back, because Sador was matched with Zubov behind the Mike Modano line, and they had great success with that 5-man unit in Game 5.
Intercepted again. Elias had a piece, goes by Niedermeyer, and came back out to center. And it certainly looked like Daryl Sador will not be back. We obviously will get word on it from downstairs. Pass it along as soon as we have it. Danico off the near side for Niedermeyer. Got it up to the red line, wrong side. Two-line pass here in the first period. So we have a vital play made early on here in this game. With Sador going out of there, they are now shy a key defenseman.
And Ken Hitchcock will have to start juggling his 5 defensemen. You'll see multiple combinations. Darian Hatcher and Richard Matvichuk, who always play together, will now have to play with different partners as long as Sador cannot come back. Right now, Ken Hitchcock's wheels are turning, and he's saying, please let me see him come back down that hallway to the bench. Really need Daryl Sador.
An area Devils have struggled it mightily here in the playoffs. They do not in this series have anybody above 50% on faceoffs. Bobby Alek has taken most of the draws, and he's won only 43% of the faceoffs. Nieuwendyk 63%, the best percentage for Dallas. And he got upended, shot ripped wide, and now Nieuwendyk's down. Nieuwendyk got upended on the faceoff. I mean, picked him right up off the ice, and he landed on his back.
Oh. Gary, is amazing. Jason Arnott lost another faceoff to Joe Nieuwendyk, and Nieuwendyk just owned Arnott in Game 5. And Arnott lost another one, but was able to kind of pitchfork his stick underneath Joe Nieuwendyk and just flipped him right over.
Did he hit his head?
Well, we'll see here. See, Arnott went for the block, but he wasn't strong enough, and he's got his stick between the legs. Now watch this. Up and over, and he got twisted awkwardly when he went down. That was just a takedown by Jason Arnott. Watch this. Oh, he landed on his shoulder, his back. Hopefully it's only his wind, because that is the kind of landing on the ice move that can knock the wind out of you, but you can come back. But that also shows the frustration of Jason Arnott They're showing it on the big screen here. That is why the crowd is booing like crazy. That tells you the frustration level that Jason Arnott felt getting just smoked on the faceoffs by Nieuwendyk in Game 5.
Joe Nieuwendyk struggling to get up here. May have just had the wind knocked out of him because of the way he landed with that thud.
Right.
Can really take all the air out of it.
That would be good news.
Darryl Sydor left at 3:20 with his injury, and Nieuwendyk had taken down at 3:48. Now Nieuwendyk looks like he's going to stay on the bench, or at least try to.
I scream, you scream, we all scream for hockey. And NHL Network is serving up your favorite shows all summer.
Can I get a brochure, please?
My favorite player.
Can I get a Puxicle, please?
Enjoy.
Wow, back and forth they go. It's been a great series.
Beat the heat with a little hockey all summer on NHL Network.
NetCredit is here to say yes to a personal loan or line of credit, even when other lenders won't. Apply online in minutes and get funds deposited the next business day or sooner. Go to netcredit.com. NetCredit. Credit to the people.
Honey, you were so right. I listed this in less than a minute.
I told you listing on Poshmark was quick and easy.
Oh, I sold my black tote and my slip dress. Let's go get mani-pedis.
Ooh, thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Poshmark.
Want extra cash? It's easy with the Poshmark app. Download to start selling today.
We went with the website nuts.com because nuts and dried fruit and pretzels and trail mix and gummies and chocolate and espresso beans and malted milk balls and crackers and popcorn and sesame sticks and veggie chips and energy squares and fudge and jelly beans and seeds and rock candy and saltwater taffy and dried berries and fruit leather and bars and jerky and a whole lot more .com was already taken. Get 20% off and free shipping on your first order at nuts.com. Yes, we have more than nuts, but still the website is just nuts.com.
Build the pool yourself. What could go wrong?
Some things are better left to a professional.
It dried so fast.
Like when it comes to finding financial advisors. So leave it to SmartAsset to find them for you. Take the free quiz at smartasset.com. Then you'll be matched with up to 3 vetted fiduciary financial advisors. To get started, take the Advisor Match Quiz now at smartasset.com.
Terrific.
The Dallas Stars here are absolutely in their game mode. They look sharper, they look mentally ready to play. The New Jersey Devils are limping here in the first period. One of the things the Devils have to do in the first period is keep it simple. And simple on the power play means drilling pucks at Eddie Belfour. Bobby Holik tried one pass that had no chance. That is a bad sign for the Devils, especially for Holik, who had 8 shots and had the best scoring chances of anybody in Game 5. He's thinking pass instead of shoot here in Game 6.
John Madden won the draw. Got him to Nemchinov on the near side. Knocked away by Muller. And his blast is high. Kurt Muller has played so well that Ken Hitchcock is giving him a lot more ice time as this series has progressed. And of course Muller, a former member of the New Jersey Devils for 7 years, played against many of these guys out there. And a stick to the face on Randy McKay. McKay trying to regroup as Nemchinov moves it up. McKay stays out in the middle. He took a stick to the head. He's still out there on the ice. Near side it comes to Nemchinov. Nemchinov will send that one in around the far side. Manson's got it. Manson moving it out. Into the middle, Modano. Modano knocked away by Danico to center. Devils back. Now it's changing. They got 3 back. Pandolfo a chance off the pads of Eddie Belfour. Bear in mind, Eddie Belfour has not given up a goal in a while. Coming into this game, 120 minutes and 13 seconds. 57 shots coming into this game without a goal off him. Lemieux, save, Pandolfo, wide. Claude Lemieux, the pickup. Almost ended that streak right there. As Pandolfo had it in the crease, but couldn't get enough on it to get it by.
And this might be the shift that jumpstarts the Devils. I mean, very, very strong. Lemieux and Holik especially.
Claude Lemieux, backhander at the side of the net. Pushed it out in front. Held out to shot. That deflected into the corners. Belfour at the angle. Pandolfo. Excellent first period. Jason Arnott saved made by Belfour with a left pad. And the rebound to Hatcher, who clears it out, and Eddie Belfour rising to the occasion again. Checked by Danico, freed it up. Arnott a shot, save made by Belfour. As the Devils, that shift pouring on 4 shots. Cleared out the center again. Devils will get it back. So the Devils pick up that mighty momentum here for the moment. All the way around behind the net. Niedermeyer, who can skate, leaves it. Sikora crisscrossing, shot it in. Belfour's got to hang on. And another Devil down. And was that Hatcher?
Yes, it was. And Peter Sikora right now has no idea what planet he is on.
The Devils are after Hatcher, Bill.
Darian Hatcher caught him coming across, and this was a hit that was like a Scott Stevens hit. Darian Hatcher caught Peter Sikora coming across to his side with his head down and just smoked him.
Peter Sikora, part of that Arnott Elias Sikora first line that leads the Devils. He has not moved his head.
There he is. He's moving now. I think he's coming to. Bill Murray, the athletic trainer, the medical man, is out there talking to him. I have no idea what kind of response he is getting, but to me, Peter Sikora was clearly, if not out, at least dazed.
This game has started out really tough.
Here's Sikora coming across the blue line, and he took his shot when Cote stood up on him, and there was Hatcher colliding with him. I don't know if he got the elbow into him, but a lot like the Eric Lindros situation with Stevens, it looked like Sikora was going down when he ran into Hatcher. Hatcher's back almost looked like it was to him when they hit.
And as is often true with potential injuries to the neck, they will bring the doctors out, and they have asked for the stretcher to be brought out as well.
By the way, that is the Dallas trainer, Dave Supernaw, that is out there helping out. In times like this, there are no adversaries and there are no enemies. Something like this. There's Darian Hatcher in the middle. Boy, he might have gotten his elbow into Sikora's chin. You know that? Hard to tell.
So Daryl Sador is out of the game. Joe Nieuwendyk had been poleaxed onto the ice but is playing. The Devils, Hatcher went out looking for Arnott, who did that to Nieuwendyk. Hatcher hits Sikora, and we haven't even played the first period of this game 6.
Peter Sikora has barely moved. Now at least he's spread his skates apart. You see the Devils standing around looking at Peter Sikora. I know how much they care about Peter Sikora, but this is almost the time where you should allow the trainers to do what they do and move away so that you are not affected emotionally by what you are watching. And I'm almost surprised that Larry hasn't called them over. Larry Robinson hasn't called his players away from that situation.
Every battle to the Stanley Cup always ends up being a great battle. And as we said before, winning that game 4, there is nothing tougher in sports.
Imagine if the most exciting, unthinkable, iconic NHL moments could be yours. Well, now they can, because NHL Breakaway lets you collect highlights from your favorite players and teams. Collect a moment, relive a memory, and trade history with these officially licensed digital collectibles. Make history yours with NHL Breakaway.
Your balls will smell like winners with Mando. Can we say balls? Mando's different. It's tough enough to control body odor in all your toughest smelling places. How does Mando work? Rather than covering up odor with heavy fragrances, Mando stops odor before it starts. Our formula is powered by an acidified technology and pH optimized. It works by blocking bacteria from digesting fluids on your skin like sweat anywhere on your body. Order Mando whole body deodorant today and control your body odor better everywhere.
For the best deals, go to shopmando.com.
We all know that we'll eventually need a will. Eventually. How about right now? Trust and Will has taken the process of creating your will and made it easy. Like while you're lounging on the couch, easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys, but customized by you. One question at a time. All documents are state-specific, legally valid, and start at just $199. That's not a typo. Find the plan that's right for you at trustandwill.com.
Here it is.
The way he plays is so spectacular to watch.
Did your favorite make the cut? Find out when we reveal our list.
You can't find players like this.
Of the top 20 defensemen right now. Tonight, 6 Eastern on NHL Network.
It's pretty amazing when you look out there. Look at how many Dallas Star players have now come out, along with the Devil players, talking to one another at times about what's happened. There's Hatcher, the man who hit Sikora. And here in the middle of this huge battle in Game 6, everything stops and all the guys come out. And you remember, as you do in the lines that form at the end of playoff series, all people, just games. This matters more. They'll go back, play again, but there they are.
Right now, they're just all hockey brothers. Scott Stevens, Patrick Elias, number 26 for the Devils, is Peter Sikora's best friend. I'm going to show you how this shaped up here. First of all, there is Sikora trying to beat his man, and there is Derian Hatcher over on this side. They come together. This angle really looked like Derian Hatcher got the elbow up right into Peter Sikora's face or off his jaw. Remember, there's no penalty called on this play. But Sikora was actually in a crouching position, so it's hard to tell whether that was an intentional elbow or not. At this point, it is moot. What is at stake here is the health of Peter Sikora. Nobody is calling for a penalty out there. Nobody's even talking about it. Both benches very concerned, and they've got his neck immobilized. It's so great to see Dave Supernon, the Dallas Stars trainer, out there with Bill Murray, the Devils trainer, and they are both walking him off. Supernon's gone back to his bench, but this may be reasonably serious since it drew such a crowd of players. Usually when word spreads very quickly on the ice that everything's okay, players relax and go about their business. But this seemed to draw a greater crowd as the drama unfolded.
You could see Sikora talking to the medical staff as he was being wheeled off there. He's responding to people, the doctors, trainers who were talking to him. And a lot of that, as we mentioned before, is precautionary to make sure that they do not do any further damage should there be any spinal or neck injuries. And Hatcher asking, is he all right? Asking Bill McCurry, the referee. Well, it'll be interesting to see what the effect is here. This is when he was down on the ice.
When he first hit, and you could tell by his eyes that he has no idea what is going on around him right now.
Now you got to regroup. Does it cut down for a moment at least on some of the physical play that we've seen at the start of this game? We'll find out. Tip back into the end. Cote will come back to get it. And he'll take it in behind the net.
Immediately Larry Robinson puts Alexander Mogilny up on his line.
Centered Elias. Rebound Mogilny. Save made by Belfort. Mogilny had the bouncing puck, so the offense picks right back up again. Lehtinen sends it back in. Hull, Modano, and Lehtinen out there on the line that has stayed together for the Stanley Cup Finals. Elias, and that's going to be whistled on a two-liner. Bringing the face-off back into the New Jersey end. 7:20 to go. First period, no score, 9-4 shots. Devils advantage.
When your business needs fast, quality printing delivered on time. When a project needs to be double-checked, even checked 33 times. When every detail, the size, the material, and even the color density has to be perfect. And when you need your fans to know when and where to catch your face-melting guitar riffs. Choose U Printing. When it has to be right the first time. Start today.
This mango hint water tastes just like mango.
How can water taste just like fruit?
For a limited time, new customers get over 45% off at drinkhint.com. That's 36 bottles for just $36. Only $1 per bottle. Hint?
Certain this is gonna work?
Nothing to it.
For imprint certain?
Certainty matters. 4imprint is your home for promo gear to wow clients and inspire your team. Check out 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
You were hired to be a maintenance manager, but everyone really knows you as a repair expert, a procurement specialist, and a problem solver. No matter what you're called, you know who to call to help keep your operation running. Grainger has over 1 million products, including the one you need now, plus the scale to deliver next day on most orders, so you can focus on delivering for the ones who count on you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This offseason, we're taking Saturdays to a whole new level with Saturday Hockey Highlights.
Tremendous.
A whole day of themed programs.
Looks good.
To make your summer a little bit cooler.
Whoa! 102.5.
This Saturday, the outdoor games have become a season staple for over a decade.
They score!
Relive some of the best.
Touch score!
Saturday Hockey Highlights. Outdoor games. Saturday noon Eastern on NHL Network.
John Madden out to take another face-off. You know, before the draft in 1997, when he was eligible, his coach at Michigan, Red Berenson, called him and said, "Son, get your resume together. You ain't going to make it in the pros." Well, John Madden has not spoken to Red Berenson since then, and he said that was one of the things that motivated him more than anything. The other thing was not getting drafted that year. A free agent that nobody wanted, and here he is in the Stanley Cup Finals as the key face-off man for the New Jersey Devils.
All his teammates like to say, that cocky son of a gun. They love him, but he's got an attitude that you love to have on a young player, that he just believes he's as good as anybody out there on the ice and quietly goes about his business and gets it done.
Without that attitude, he's not here.
Yeah, that's exactly right. 1:12 left to go. That'll be touched up on the icing call. Sunday Night Baseball coming your way. Coverage will begin on ESPN with the Pep Boys. Baseball tonight, and then the rubber match. New York Mets, New York Yankees have blown each other out in 2 games played at Yankee Stadium. Mike Hampton and David Cohn, the starters.
There's Blake Sloan, another Michigan guy, good friend and ex-teammate of John Madden's. They won an NCAA championship with Michigan in 1996. I'm sure that seems like light years ago. They're enemies in this series for sure.
Madden stays out. Mike Modano ready to take the face-off here. Modo, 56% in winning draws, does not win that one as John Madden. He's become the face-off man in this series. Won it. Up the near side, Pandolfo stripped by Hall. Taken back by Madden. Madden turned it out, a minute left to go in the period. Matvichuk and Cote out defensively. Hull's got it near side. Hull sends it in, trying to pass it for Yuri Letnin. Cut off, though, in the corner by Rafalski to Stevens. Stevens got it up to McKay. McKay jammed it out hard, and it will be an icing call. Yes, on the touch. 41 seconds left. Let's check in with Brian Engblom. Brian.
Yeah, Gary, we have some interesting on-ice audio about the Peter Sikora hit and the conversation that was between referee Bill McCreary and Darian Hatcher. Everybody was obviously very concerned about the whole situation, and this is exactly how it went down.
That's a clean hit. That's a
I know, but if you're all right,
I don't know. He's out right now. You actually hit him with the back of your shoulder, the back of your arm.
I know.
I understand. I respect that. That's classic.
I'm glad to hear that Bill McCreary did in fact see the hit, and even happier that it was a clean hit, because we couldn't tell. It looked like there might have been an elbow involved, but thank you, Bill McCreary. Good for Darian Hatcher hitting him clean.
Got him with the back of the shoulder, he said. Jason Arnott takes it away from Neuendijk. Arnott turns it around the other way. 3 goals, 3 assists in the finals for Arnott to lead the Devils in points. Far side, Elias and Hatcher do battle. Muller came in, knocked it away to Zubov. 20 seconds to go. A scoreless first period. Long up ice to Neuendijk. Neuendijk batted up in the air, knocked down again, had to play it back. Dallas trying to find one here. Zubov's got it. Zubov shoots it in. That one played off the blocker and the stick. Pretty confident. Mr. Brodeur, no angle shot, side of the net, and that's it. And we end it the way we started it. With a lot of intensity. Scoreless at the end of one again.
Darian Hatcher yelling, "He headbutted me," and that looked like what Claude Lemieux did, but it wasn't hard enough to get called. He headbutted me. Darian Hatcher is still screaming for a headbutt call. Claude Lemieux came at him in the corner. Watch this. He did too. Not hard enough, though, I think, to get called. But he did, in fact, catch him with the helmet.
First 6 games of this series have been tied after one. No other final series has had more.
That should hold it for now.
What should we do?
I know what to do.
You do?
I'm going to CashNetUSA.com. I can apply in minutes, and if approved, we can have the money in our account as soon as the same business day.
You're my hero.
Saving the day is easy with CashNet USA.
When you need money fast, be the hero. Go to CashNetUSA.com to apply for the money you need now.
Buying or selling a home has gotten hard. That's why who you work with matters. I partner with HomeLight to help our clients win in any situation. Our buyers find great deals on their dream homes, and our sellers get top dollar. Together, we all win.
Why pay too much for cable TV when it costs less for Fubo TV? Get all the channels you want with all the entertainment you love for the price that cable can't beat. Start watching at FuboTV.com.
Are your headlights cloudy and oxidized, making your car look bad? Are they underperforming when you need them most? Cerakote's Headlight Restoration Kit restores weathered headlights back to like new and keeps them that way for life. Stop wasting your time with solutions that don't last. Cerakote's kit includes everything you need to go from this to this. Simply wipe away oxidation, give them a light sanding, and apply the ceramic coating. That's it. The True Ceramic technology does the rest. Buy any of Cerakote's #1 selling ceramic products for under $20 at these leading retailers today.
The NHL is taking hockey to a whole new level with NHL Blast on Roblox, featuring the coolest digital hockey hub. Grab your favorite NHL jersey, create your own custom goalie mask, then it's game on. Team up with friends as you hit the ice and streets in this fast-paced twist on hockey. Protect your goal, tag opponents, shoot, score, and of course, sell it. Explore hockey's new home on Roblox at NHL.com/blast.
As has been true for most of this series, it is played with nobody leading. And that's the case at the end of one. Zip, zip. Welcome back, everybody. Gary Thornbill, Clement, second period coming up. Good luck, charms abound.
Well, this time of year, wardrobe is important, but not because of fashion, because of superstition. There is the lucky red Mike Keane jacket. It is now 13-0 in the playoffs, including 12 overtime wins, and that is why Mike Keane carried it into the ring. But because he is home, I suspect, and a lot more people judge his fashion statement, he didn't wear the jacket the way he did in New Jersey. He just carried it.
Was that Brent Severin's disco shirt he had on? Brent Severin has a good luck disco shirt that's been worn by one or more. Marty Turco had it the last game, but I think he had it on coming in here tonight. Matt Tkachuk trying to dump it ahead. Had it blocked in. Well, lucky Elias couldn't get it on the stick. Rebound right in front of Belfour covers. A chance on the tip by Jason Arnott.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Arnott ends up out there with Scott Gomez, the way Jason Arnott can skate, the way he can hit holes, he'll draw people to the net, and that'll create a seam for Gomez. Watch this. Gomez with a nice little pass across to Elias. He just couldn't control it. By the time he got to the sharp angle, though, Arnott was positioned well in front, got good wood on it. You got to know Larry Robinson is liking what he is seeing with Gomez taking Peter Sikora's place on this line.
The Gomez out on the first line, and the face-off will be won by the Devils to the point. Stevens the chance, had it blocked out deep. Good play by Yuri Lettinen, who stepped right in front of it. The Devils' face-off woes continued in that first period as the New Jersey Devils won only 35% of the draws. Dumped back in behind the net. Hull over to get it in his own end. Hull out, Modano and Lettinen. In the middle, it came loose. Nobody could get a stick on that one. Back it comes to Zubov. Matt Tkachuk getting a stick out of the way on the far side. And a Hull in the rink wide to Thornton. Thornton a chance. Glove. Brodeur. Nobody there for Dallas. Now Modano moves in, and that will get the whistle. Well, with a shutout picked up by Eddie Belfour in that 3 overtime win and no goals in the first period, it continues to multiply. The last time anybody got one by Eddie Belfour.
Man, at 60 minutes a game, he has got 2 games plus an entire period of time, if you want to look at it that way.
He would have to get into the third to break Frank McCool's mark for the longest time. He has picked up 68 saves rather through the first 2. Save made by Brodeur on the long shot off the draw from Cote. Cleared back up, and Bobby Holik intended. Came loose on the far side wall. Official word, Daryl Sador is not going to be back. Boy, these teams are going to have to play through some more injuries before somebody gets their name on the cup. And Secor is not coming back either. Whoa, what a collision. Claude Lemieux. Lemieux, I think, got out of the way enough so Thornton and Cravino took the worst of that. Bobby Holik moves it in. Holik, backhander right through the top of the crease and right by the mask of Eddie Belfour. Held in. McGillney along the wall. Niedermayer doing shot. And a save made if needed. It was close to the side of the net. As McGillney went around, Bobby Holik shot. Blocked by Cravino. Danicko couldn't get anything on that chance in Dallas. Just want a whistle here. It's cleared the length of the ice for the icing call.
No kidding. Alexander McGillney, I think, just hit the outside of the net. But the Devils' rush started because there was just a pile of stars in the corner to Marty Brodeur's right. Here's what happened. I think you called it right, Gary. Claude Lemieux bailed because he saw Thornton coming, and Guy Carbonneau had probably about enough time to go, uh-oh, bang! Down he went. He landed on him and everything. Caught him with the elbow, and you know what? Carbonneau looked like he was coming up smiling there. And at the other end, before that, look at Jay Pandolfo. He's got in the slot. Didn't have time to get rid of the shot because Scott Thornton just smoked him from behind. Good defensive play by Thornton.
Scott Thornton, a big physical presence out there on the ice for the Dallas Stars. Face off to the right of Belfour. One back by Nemchinov. Malakoff a chance deflected wide. That deflected back on the short side as it came through the middle. McGillney's had some chances in this game. Out there with Breland along the wall. Take down Breland after the puck. Couldn't get it. Work by Niedermayer. Chased out at the other end. Malakoff dumped it. Played back through the middle. McGillney, who can fly. Matvichuk in front of him. McGillney a wrister. Blocked by Matvichuk into the corner. Nemchinov, McGillney, and Breland on this line for the Devils. Cleared around by Sador. McGillney. McGillney centered. Breland the move. Backhand side. Center shot. Belfour again. Squared up. Colin White shot deflected up in the air. Nemchinov and Breland combined for the chance. And a change coming as Marshall dumped it in. Devils trying to catch Dallas as they come over the boards. McKay sent it up. Modano right back out. Devils clear. Madden dumps it in. Madden, Randy McKay up on the forecheck, couldn't get to it. Grant Marshall pushed it up the boards, not out. Down goes Stevens. Cleared up again by Madden. And they wave off any icing. Rafalski's got to come back to get it. Second period. If this game is won by the Devils, we will have the awarding of the Stanley Cup for 2000. If not, we'll go back to New Jersey for Game 7 on Monday night. That's what's up for grabs here in Game 6. Modano pushed it away. Modano's on the right. Hauled it, poke checked away, and look at Brodeur. He came out and got his backside up to make sure Modano was not going to run him over. There'll be a penalty coming up behind the play as Rafalski is headed to the sin bin.
Well, while everybody was riveted on Marty Brodeur's race for the puck against Mike Modano, Brian Rafalski was caught by Bill McCreary holding Brett Hull. Here goes Hull in the original rush. Now the puck went away, and Brett Hull grabbed Rafalski and took his helmet down off and put it down. No wonder Brian Rafalski was so upset. Brian Rafalski was incredulous. He looked around and went, "You gotta be kidding me. I got the penalty."
Brian, we're not kidding.
Well, guess what? That's a bad joke on Brian Rafalski because Brett Hull held him and took him down, and Rafalski's now in the box. But this play at the other end, Larry Robinson with the all-Russian line. Breland, McGillney, Nemchinov. A great play by Ed Belfour just to turn his stick and get the deflection off the blade. Speaking of Russians, here's Slava Fetisov, played for the Red Army team. We have talked a lot in this series about the Montreal connection. There are 5 players playing for the Devils, or at least 5 men in the organization, including Fetisov, 4 players, who played for the Russian Central Red Army team. So another great team featured in this series on New Jersey.
Now this is the 3rd power play of the game already for Dallas, which is over the average number of power plays the Devils have given the opposition this playoff year. So the Devils, in that sense, hurting themselves a bit, giving Dallas the opportunity on the power play with Rafalski out of there, 3:30 on the hold, 0 for 2, obviously, in the previous tries. And Pandolfo Pandolfo can't get it by Yuri Letnin. Modano, Letnin, Hull. Zubov along with Matvichuk back on the point with Sador out. Of course, they lose him on the power play. Intended for Hull, but it came too high for him, and it rolls out to center. Chased down by Matvichuk.
Now, by putting Richard Matvichuk on the power play, at least Dallas stays deeper up front in their second unit that comes out.
2 for 14 in the series on the power play. Zubov saved, made Brodeur, batted out of the air by Modano, but wide. Modano knocked that one out of the air, but he couldn't get it redirected on net. Short-handed John Madden up ice. Belfour's got to play it.
Sergei Zubov is shooting in this hockey game. He had one shot in the triple overtime game, and that came in overtime. That last shot was number 4 here, and we haven't even played half a game.
He had 3 in the first period, and he played 9:48, the most of any Dallas Star in the first. Sent in by Hatcher. Power play down to 40 seconds left on it. Belfour up over Cote, Brodeur up over Cote's head, and Belfour out to play it at the other end. Belfour back in behind the net. Hatcher will come back to get it. I'll tell you, power play units have struggled mightily for each of these teams because the penalty-killing units are so good. Brodeur around the far side boards. Lemieux protecting the man, got it out of there. Centering pass, got it 2-on-1. Niedermayer's in front. Niedermayer's shot! It's scored! Scott Niedermayer! A short-handed goal on Eddie Belfour!
What a play! What an incredible play. First of all, by Claude Lemieux at the blue line to forget about the puck and just kind of pitchfork Cote out of the way. And then you want to see some rocket-assisted skates? Scott Niedermayer. There was the play by Lemieux, and then Pandolfo made a super play back to Lemieux, who just one-touched it to Niedermayer. I mean, Scott Niedermayer exploded from the other end. Only Scott Niedermayer could have made this happen because of his incredible skating speed. Ed Belfour followed him. This just made it across the line. I wondered why the delay in the celebration. It was because it just trickled across. There is Melanie Brodeur. She was watching that go in. She doesn't feel the pain when Ed Belfour has a puck go by him, but she feels it at the other end. Just trickled across the line.
Niedermayer gets it a 1-0 New Jersey Devils lead, and they finally end the shutout streak of Eddie Belfour with the goal here in the second period. The first goal in 145 minutes and 31 seconds off Eddie Belfour with a 3-overtime game that the Devils didn't score on the last time around. Near side, that is a short-handed goal picked up by Niedermayer, and the power play is now over. The goal came at 5:18. Niedermayer's first of the finals, 5th of the playoffs. Lemieux and Pandolfo picked up the assists on it. And in the playoffs now, the Dallas Stars have given up 5 short-handed goals now. That's a lot. 5 short-handed goals against Dallas in the playoffs. And the New Jersey Devils, on the other side of it, have scored 4. Roll back into the corner. And at the point, Colin White holds it in. White left it in the middle, deflected, and Thornton trying to clear it out. Can't. Gomez shot. Elias, save made by Belfour. Elias back. Jason Arnott trying to center, and it blocked in behind the net. Modano moves it out. Mike Modano, he has been the man in this playoffs for them. Cleared back, far side shot. Score! 19! Tie game!
What a rush by Mike Modano. Mike Modano took off from his own end. We talked about Niedermayer's speed on the New Jersey goal. This was all Mike Modano. He brought it all the way in, and then Thornton made a beautiful dish off to Mike Keane. And the Dallas Stars want to go high on Brodeur, just like the Devils want to do on Belfour. Right to the shelf, baby, for Mike Keane. And it is 1-1. That's what Dallas had to do. They were sagging. You could tell the Devils had a whole bunch of energy going after the Niedermayer goal. Well, that is gone now, and the Dallas Stars have evened it.
I was drowning in debt. I didn't even know how I was going to buy food for my kids.
I had over $36,000 in debt.
If I would have just made the minimum payments, it would have taken me 59 years to pay off. I knew I wasn't going to be able to get out of debt myself.
I picked up the phone and called National Debt Relief, They were my savior.
Whether it's credit card, medical, or personal loan debt, National Debt Relief negotiates with your creditors to reduce the amount you owe.
National Debt Relief was able to reduce my debt by over $21,000.
From the minute I made the call to National Debt Relief, I felt immediate relief. They had a plan for me. They treated me like a real person, not a number.
It really was a team working with me.
National Debt Relief negotiated with all of my creditors and reduced the amount that I owe. And I'm now debt-free.
If you owe more than $10,000, call or visit nationaldebtrelief.com to find out how you can become debt-free.
Da Vinci gave me twice the pits and private parts, which makes me smell twice as bad.
Oh, PU!
That's why I use Mando Whole Body Deodorant. The manly deodorant for all the manly crevasses of my manly body.
Mando, he smells good!
Mando doesn't just block odor all day. It controls odor for 72 hours. With cologne quality scents. Roma wasn't built in a day, but with Mando, you can smell good for 3 of them. So if you want to smell better naked, then go to shopmando.com today.
You know these players, maybe even seen their highlights.
Is this guy special or what?
Cutting, shooting, he scores!
This offseason, you can dive into hockey history.
Save, rebound, there it is! 500! This is Solani all alone! Yes! The Finnish Flash gets the hat trick.
Now you can see the full games that defined the careers of some of hockey's greatest.
There's been so many great moments.
Superstar Summer Tuesdays on NHL Network Daytime.
Face-off will come out at center. Question on where the face-off's going to be here. I think that's what they're arguing about.
Or Ken Danico. See what he does? Look at that. He threw his glove off there. He was shedding equipment everywhere on the ice. Starting with the helmet and ending with the glove.
Dallas unhappy about that face-off at center because if it was Martin Brodeur who last touched it and deflected it, then the face-off should have been back to the right side of Martin Brodeur in the zone, and it wasn't. All of that is now complete and total history that will be totally forgotten. Brodeur holds it up behind the net. Rafalski drops it off. Cleared up and just rolled to center. Played by Yuri Lednin off the boards. Stevens gets to the red. No room. Moves it up himself. Lemieux cutting into the corner. Taken out by Cote. Lemieux pushes it around to Madden. Madden wanted to center and it blocked down low. McDonald is back there again to block it. McDonald will be the trailer in this charge. Brett Hull going near side corner with Stevens. And a pretty good collision right there. Stevens took it away. Just missed Madonna. He's coming behind the net. Rafalski off the glass and out of there to center. Rafalski knew where Madonna was. He had no intention of putting the puck anywhere near him. Sent in down the near side by Madden. One of the keys, you have stars like Madonna out there for the other team to know where that star is all the time. Make sure you don't make plays that go towards him. It gives him an offensive chance. Thornton stepped out. Marta had it, lost it. Thornton banked it up in the air. Patrick Mile back in behind the net. Thornton giving chase. White got tied up. Malikoff tied up Sim. Malikoff over to get it. Lost it. Arnon's got it. Arnon hook took away. Down low. Set up Thornton in front. Never got to him. Great effort by Sim. Sim battling. Still had it. Jason Arnon tries again to McGillney. 2-on-2 the other way. Under a minute left to go in the second period. The dump in is blocked and held on to for a long time by Richard Matvichuk, but he got away with it. Thornton moves it up. Sends it in wide. Colin White bangs away at Thornton's head. Thornton retaliates against White. They're setting in front. They're still going at it. Now they separate. There was a whistle. 39 seconds left to go, and those two, I think, will be leaving for the moment. A reminder, SportsCenter coming up tonight at 11 on ESPN. Post-game analysis and reactions from Dallas. Steve Levy, Barry Melrose will be breaking this one down. SportsCenter on ESPN at 11 Eastern.
Well, these guys earned these deuces. That is Colin White, the rookie for the New Jersey Devils. That is Scott Thornton, the 10-year veteran for the Dallas Stars. Two big men. Watch Thornton try to get his own dunk in. He was trying to get into the forecheck. And Colin White, oh man, Colin White got the worst of that. You know what? Thornton not only got him with that one, well, he got him with that one. But then after the play, Colin White smartly turned around to try to draw the penalty. All he drew was another punch to the back of the head.
Dallas, New Jersey tied at 1. The Devils had a lead in this game for a minute and 9 seconds. How close has this series been? We continue to pile up those even numbers. is just amazing how difficult it has been to get and maintain a lead. Face-off one back. They wanted Hall to shoot it. He does. Blocked in the middle. 34 seconds to go. White Thornton out of there in the roughing calls. 19-21. 4-on-4 again. Played it behind the net by Niedermeyer. 26 seconds left to go here in the period. Run back up the near side. And Breland trying to get it in. Could not. The linesman came back out. Niedermeyer to play it away. Talik heads to the net. Breland a shot. Save base. Mohamed Mihalik. Shubov playing it up 2-on-2 the other way. Into the middle. Mike Modano. 8 seconds left to go. There's time. Shubov. Back to Modano. Couldn't get it out of the zone. Trying to line it up. Couldn't do it. And we will go to the third period. A 1-1 game because of goals. At 5:18 by Niedermeyer from Lemieux and Pandolfo, and 6:27 from Keane is first in the finals for Thornton and Madonna.
The tour poster's here. They must have ordered 1 inch by 2 inches.
I hate it. I wish I had my angry eyebrows on.
I thought we told her to use U-printing.
The people at uprinting.com don't just help you print. They help you print like a pro. So whether you want to impress your fans or grow your business, choose Uprinting when it has to be right the first time.
Today, when it comes to comparing players, the backs of their hockey cards just won't cut it. Get the stats behind the stats with NHL Edge, featuring its one-of-a-kind comparison tool. So you're not just comparing point totals. You're comparing speed, shot power, and impact on the game.
Eichel shoots, scores!
But if we're being honest, you can't compare style points. At least not yet. Know more about every stat, every shift, and every star with NHL Edge.
This mango hint water tastes just like mango. How can water taste just like fruit?
For a limited time, new customers get over 45% off at drinkhint.com. That's 36 bottles for just $36. Only $1 per bottle. Hint.
Are you certain he'll fit?
Sure.
Are you for imprint certain?
Certainty matters. Need promo gear? 4imprint certainly got it. Apparel, drinkware, bags, and more. Go get it at 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
This is the story of the one. The one who believes being prepared is not just a way of life. It's how he helps everyone stay safe. He sweats the small stuff before it becomes big stuff. For the one, being an unsung hero in a building full of everyday heroes is just how he likes it. The industrial-grade products you need delivered fast. Call, click Grainger.com or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome back, everybody. They are rocking here at Reunion Arena. 1-1 going to the third period. Devils trying to take the cup. They have won their Stanley Cup final games on the road. 2 last year, 2 so far this year. They win another upstairs. Gary Thornton open man. Bill Key injuries. Peter Sikora played only 3 minutes. Daryl Sador, minute 35.
Not the Devils adjusting. Well, it's easier to adjust to a forward being injured because you put somebody else skilled up there, and Larry Robinson started making the lines. Dallas really wants and needs. There's 3 different pairs on defense. Now they've got 5 defensemen because Sonora's gone. I don't know mathematically how many different combinations there are of using each guy with each guy, but they've used them all, and ultimately it may just come down to the goaltending in this tilt.
Going to have to continue to shuffle because neither Sador nor Sikora will be coming back. These two have been magnificent. Last 2 games, they have put on a show. Matching liners were picked up at the end of the period. They'll continue to be served as we've got Thornton and White out. There's Colin White for the New Jersey Devils. So 4-on-4 situation, third period. And the intensity continues to build. No room to be had by either team. The cup, of course, is here at Reunion Arena. The Devils want to take it home tonight. Dallas signs post everywhere in this building to keep the cup in the box. Cleared back up and over the glass and out of play. We were talking about superstitions. How about our ABC affiliate here in Dallas, Channel 8 WFAA? They had carried 2 pre-game shows for the games that were played here in Dallas. Because Dallas lost both of them, they canceled the show and ran Wheel of Fortune.
That is the weight of the superstitious fan. I'll tell you what, you can change a pre-game show out of superstition. You are superstitious. One thing Larry Robinson knows he wants in this series is Scott Stevens against Mike Modano. Through 2 periods here in Game 6. Now out of 156 even strength shifts, get this, 144 times Stevens and Rafalski have been out there against Mike Modano.
Matchups. Poke checked away by Stevens. Trying to get it in. Near side. Modano and Hall. Modano again the tip pass. Blocked by Elias. Played off the wall by Niedermeyer, but Modano read that one. Poke check back, and there's Stevens. And Stevens moves it up. Elias has it, lost it. With Sikora out there, Robinson has had to shuffle that powerful offensive first line of the New Jersey Devils. We've seen a couple of changes. McGillney and Gomez primarily have filled in on that line. There's Gomez out there now with McGillney. Blue line chance, glove down. Belfour looked as though he wasn't sure he had that one. He looked in the glove for it. Make sure he got something to drop off there. They're back behind the net. Zubov will pick it up. Zubov looking into the middle. Newendijk is out there now. Taken back Malikov. Malikov had it intercepted. Shot back in by McGillney. Belfour back. 7 seconds left on the matching minor penalties. Their side is Hatcher. Hatcher coming up. Clyde Lemieux reached in. Hatcher waiting here for these penalties to expire. They do. And back up on the ice. White and Thornton. There's Thornton near side. Thornton trying to move it in. Stood up Niedermeyer. Got fine. There's Thornton with a bump on Malikov. Thornton trying to clear it around. Had it blocked. He got double teamed there. Stepping up Cote to hold it in. Sent around the far side. Gary Lettman. Lettman. Lemieux was there. Lemieux drove it out to center but couldn't control the puck. Back to the near side. We're just underway here in the third period in Dallas. Madden taken down by Cote. Nemchinov will dump that one ahead. Off the boards, it comes to Cote. Nemchinov up in the forecheck. Zubov's played over 20 minutes through the first 2 periods of this game. Leading Iceman out there. Sim in the corner and it knocked away. Reaches back in strong on the puck when he gets it. Jonathan Sim, 22 years old. On the wall, forced out by the Devils. And they'll change. Taken back by Manson in his own end. Dropped it off. Dallas changing as well. Pushed off the glass to center. Over Newendijk's head. Up, Devils trying to get it out. Can't. Held in Morrow. Swung around Niedermeyer. He tried. Knocked down by Morrow. Played near side to White to Breland. Sergei Breland. Back to 5-on-5 now. Breland in. Breland dumped it. Handed near side from McKay. Never got there. White goes wide as they clear the zone. Malikov back to him. Colin White. A +10 coming into this game for the 22-year-old who's been just tremendous here in the playoff year for the Devils. He had a +3 coming into this game in the finals. Up the near side by Manson and just chipped out by Hull. Taken back by White. You see a bit more conservation on the part of both of these teams, being conservative in their play. Started this third period almost like feeling each other out at the beginning of the game, but it's the third, and that will be whistled on the icing call. Let's check in with Brian England down at ice level. Brian?
Gary, I often wonder what goaltenders think about. Eddie Belfour in particular. I mean, how do you handle the situation where this is the second straight game? If he makes one too many mistakes, his team goes home for the summer. Here's what his night has looked like so far, and I agree with you guys that they have not gone high on Eddie often enough. There have only been 2 or 3 occasions in the entire game, that was the only goal that he gave up, where he's had to actually use the glove. And he had the goaltender's best friend, the iron, help him out at the end of that second period. Eddie has been outstanding in these playoffs. And what's going on in that head?
Win, 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 and keep this alive. His playoff numbers, 2.14 goals against in his career in the playoffs. Now has 11 shutouts, including 4 shutouts this year. Carmen will get it down! Partially fanned on in front by Thornton, who tried to backhand it, and it just trickled in.
He did everything right until it came time to pull the trigger, and then somehow he didn't get any wood on it. Carbonneau with a great move just to get it in front to Scott Thornton. Scott Thornton made a nice spin move, was ready to pull the trigger. All he shot was a blank. Here's Guy Carbonneau on a reverse angle look. He spun around and knew he had Thornton in front. And just misplayed it. That didn't jump over his stick. Scott Thornton just misplayed it. He was really angry at himself.
Down low, the chances so tough to come by. Both these teams with time ticking away, not wanting to pass up on any of them. Pandolfo dumped it back in behind the net. Danica and Niedermeyer out there in defense for the Devils. Lemieux cleared it out through center. Carbonneau knocked it away again. Niedermeyer got it up to Pandolfo. Pandolfo by Scott Niedermayer. Scott Niedermayer picked up the goal for the New Jersey Devils. Kicked away by Yuri Letland, still by Stevens. Letland still held it in. Madonna wrapped it around the net. McCain, Niedermayer batted out at Hall, taken by Bobby Holik. Holik trying to clear the zone. Those two offensive threats out there for Dallas. Madonna, Letland, and Hall held in by Bobby Holik again. Randy McKay was chasing down. Far away from him, will get put on by McKay. He and Cote separate. Dallas will start from behind their own net. 5 minutes into period number 3. Game is tied at 1 apiece. Stanley Cup in the building here in Reunion Arena, awaiting to see if the Devils will take it home tonight. Flip back in. Stevens. Martin Brodeur played it instead. Saw a hole with Dallas changing and got it twice. Bobby Holik drove it in, tied up by Manson. Hatcher came back to get it. Neuendijk on the far side. Joe Neuendijk. 7 goals, 3 assists in the playoffs. Dropped it off. Lost it. Elias tried to clear it out. Could not. Great play. Miller to hold it in. Dan on far side to pick up Jason Arnold. Blocked. The chance by Sloan. Cleared around the near side to White. White goes back the other way. Malakoff. Malakoff into the middle. Pass right across ice. Elias has it. Elias. McGillney in front of him. Dropped it off. Just a little too far. Pass to a location. And McGillney almost had it on its center shot. Go forward. Is it in the pass? He turned behind him. Thought it had gone in. It hit.
How close. Patrick Elias with a little tip. Couldn't get it by Ed Belfour. A great defensive play on the original rush by Darian Hatcher. That's why McGillney didn't get it. But then they regrouped. And McGillney put it right out front. Dave Manson overskated it. So Arnott to Elias, a little spin around. There's where Ed Belfour looked behind him and said, please, please don't let me see anything made of rubber behind me. Watch this. Watch Ed Belfour. Nope, not back here. Best news he had all night.
NetCredit is here to say yes to a personal loan or line of credit, even when other lenders won't. Apply online in minutes and get funds deposited the next business day or sooner. Go to netcredit.com. NetCredit. Credit to the people.
We went with the website nuts.com because nuts and dried fruit and pretzels and trail mix and gummies and espresso beans and energy squares and fudge and jelly beans and a whole lot more.com was already taken. Get 20% off and free shipping on your first order at nuts.com.
Okay, turmeric and ginger tea. I bet Doug's on a cleanse. He's finding himself, reclaiming his power, and I'm a vehicle for his success. I won't let you down, Dougie. We're all rooting for you.
I'm certain it's level 5.
Are you for imprint certain?
I'm certain it's level 5.
Certainty matters, like the certainty of 4imprint, your home for high-quality promotional gear, including exclusive items and brands they love. Printed perfectly and guaranteed to arrive on time. To wow your clients, nail your next event, or inspire your team, check out 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
Larry Robinson is trying to get his guys going, trying to coach over there. I'll tell you what, they're back on their heels, and they haven't been able to exploit what I mentioned Dallas was having trouble with, the chemistry of their defense pairings. The Devils have not been able to sustain any attack in Dallas' zone.
Dallas chooses to match up as they have throughout this series with Mike Modano coming out in the last change against the Jason Arnott line, and McGillney is out there in place of Sikora. Elias in. Elias shot. Save made by Belfour. Patrick Elias. Elias behind the net for McGillney. Save made Belfour. Rebound to center.
Best chances for the Devils. I think Elias' shot hit the handle of Belfour's stick above his blocker.
Stevens gets it open. McGillney open again. Takes it. Save made by Belfour.
Now they're shooting high. Now the Devils, when they get the chance, are trying to go high on Ed Belfour. And they're coming fast and hard. Finally, some life for the Devils. Watch this. Here's Elias' shot. He got the blocker on it. Didn't hit the handle. just at the end of the top of the blocker. And then McGillney with a close-range shot, trying to get the puck up in the air. McGillney had one after that. Yeah, that sign's left over from the conference final series against Colorado when everybody was chanting Eddie is better. That duel between Patrick Waugh and Ed Belfour.
Belfour with a .929 save percentage coming in. Brodeur .925. Back to the point. Lemieux. Another Belfour save. And the Devils with 4 quick rips.
I don't know what's happened to the Devils, but something woke them up. Remember we showed Larry Robinson going on a little rant on the bench? Maybe that got him revved up. Scott Gomez, a clean win on the veteran Guy Carbonneau. Ooh. Ed Belfour wanted to make sure he didn't drop this one. No pucks at his feet, no rebounds. But Larry Robinson appears to have said something on the bench that has brought his guys to life here.
Lemieux again in the high slot. Gomez will try and draw back to him. Didn't win the face-off. Came back to Cote as Nieuwendyk won the draw. At center, Keane. Keane looking for help. They were changing. Dumped it into the middle. Niedermeyer was there. Up, Breland tipped it out the center. Lemieux giving chase. Claude Lemieux, 8th all-time playoff goals. That'll be touched up on the icing call. 3:18 to go. No team wants to see this until they've won it. But we can show you the Stanley Cup indeed is here. It has to be ready. And they are bringing it into the building now.
Oh, we're not going to unveil it just yet.
The cup that travels.
The Devils in that 33-second span had 4 shots on Ed Belfour, and at least a couple of them were dandies. The one from Elias, the one from McGillney.
Face off to the left of Brodeur. Nieuwendyk won it back. Zubov wound up. Couldn't get much on. Partially blocked. Still loose. Cleared out. Everybody hanging on for dear life for the nearest opposing colored jersey to make sure nobody gets loose here. Sent back in. Now you got to battle through it. Muller. Colin White reached in ahead of him. Cleared back out of the zone. Zubov could touch it. He's got to play it. He'll come back behind the net. Nemchinov is up. Nemchinov, Bobby Holik. Now McKay moved up as well. They back off in the forecheck. 2:46 left to go. 1-1 the score. 3rd period. Zubov in. Far side Nieuwendyk. Stepping in Malakoff to take it away. Dumped it in front of Holik. Holik near side to Nemchinov. Moving up. Nemchinov. In but not deep. Zubov right back up. And Eddie Belfour is going to come play it with Modano moving up on it. Near side Nemchinov. Dallas changes. Nemchinov. Far side boards. Into the middle. Bobby Holik couldn't control. There's Modano left it. Here's Hull looking for Modano. A little too far in front. Pavelski around the net. Modano winding up on him, reaching in, trying to get it away from him. Could not. Center to Madden. Madden waiting as the Devils were changing. Chipped away by Hull and Yuri Letman. Stevens came back with Hull there to intercept. Hull trying to center Stevens. It hit his skates.
Well, that's what happens when you try to make a direct pass behind the net to your defense partner, as Stevens did, instead of a bank pass off the boards. Scott Stevens,
48 left.
Scott Stevens will probably bank it the next time. Mike Modano still looks like he's got great legs, although he looks like he's hurting sitting over on the bench. But the 2 guys that came alive in overtime for Dallas in Game 5, and we're 1 minute and 48 seconds away from that, Mike Modano and Joe Nieuwendyk. They really took over the game after the first overtime period for Dallas. Mike Modano has played just about as much through regulation here tonight in Game 6 as he did in Game 5. True to his word, Ken Hitchcock has double-shifted Mike Modano and played him a ton.
Face-off tied up in the middle against Carbonneau, and the Devils able to get it away. Niedermeyer with it. Niedermeyer dumped it in, knocked down Matvichuk, trying to clear, comes to center on the high bounce. Danico's got it back, 1 minute 32 to go in the 3rd period. Chipped in Belfour, hang on. And McGillney back in behind the net. McGillney, Matvichuk reversing direction on it to Thornton. Niedermeyer stepped up and held it in again. McGillney looking. McGillney trying to center it and block. Bounced all the way up to the blue line and cleared out. Devils Danico back. Thornton on him. Niedermeyer still there. Thornton got the puck. Thornton lost his stick. Niedermeyer to the point, not out. Cote back. Keane, Danico on him. Keane looking to center. Keane knocked down. Danico tied him up. Dallas Cowboys were proud of that one. Cleared back into the the zone offside. That'll be whistled. A tackle as good as you'll see on any dummy right there, I'll tell you. I want to remind you, stay tuned for your local news over most of these ABC stations. 56 seconds to go in the third. Game is tied at 1.
Here we go again. Now what? The benches have been shortened by injuries. Dallas down one defenseman, Daryl Sador. The Devils down one forward, Peter Sikora. Battle scars are adding up. Randy McKay got that in his first shift of this hockey game.
Overtimes have been few and far between this playoff year. Maybe until now. Sent to the near side. Zubov up the board. Stevens has got it. Stevens trying to get it into the middle. Hull was there to block it. 46 seconds left to go. Hull on the backhander. Bouncing puck. Martin Brodeur knocked it down. Stevens came back to get it. In the middle, Modano. His shot partially blocked. 2 sticks that puck went by without being touched. Only 8 of the 83 playoff games, including this, have gone to overtime. That's under 10%, the lowest percentage since 1970 of overtime games in the playoff year. Looks like we may have another Dodge different intermission report in 32 seconds. If so, we'll be right here in Dallas to bring it to you.
You guys are ready for it.
Yes, they are. Lou Lamoriello, the GM who has put this club together. John McMullen went out and hired Lou Lamoriello away from Providence College, where Lou was there for 13 years now with the Devils organization as president GM, and the new ownership has asked to keep him on. Bob Gainey, of course, comes from the Montreal tradition, where he was a great Hall of Fame player. Now the Stars general manager. That's part of that Montreal connection we've talked about.
Pretty calm guys for this stage of a hockey series.
$5 million per gate for these playoff games.
Interesting call by Ken Hitchcock taking his timeout. Once overtime starts, there aren't going to be any penalties called, and you can forget about your timeout. So
shot by Hull, save made by Brodeur, and Stevens knocked it away.
That's why you take your timeout right there. You set up a play, make sure your key guys are rested, and hope to get one good scoring chance so that this thing doesn't get to overtime.
88 playoff goals, 5th all-time in the playoffs, Brett Hull.
Great play by Brett Hull to move in to pick that out of the skates of Mike Modano, who had been tied up by Bobby Holik. Melanie Brodeur, no, this movie isn't going the way she wants just yet.
Brett Hull has picked up 3 game-winning goals in 2 years in the finals, and almost had a 4th. Still plenty of time, 25 seconds left. Face off top of the circle. Niedermeyer, Holik, cleared out. Hatcher. Dallas has to get onside here. Holik trying to get it up to Elias, could not. Taken by Hull. Holik takes it back. Now, Holik came out to take the face off. Larry Robinson wanted him out there for that. Otherwise, Elias and Arnott are out there on the line together. Here comes Hull with Modano. Hull moved it in, and Modano was offside on the left. 2.3.
They'll put a little bit of time back on the clock. It kept ticking after the whistle blew, but since the faceoff is going to be outside the blue line, I don't think it will have any effect. It'll be one heck of a play to generate a good scoring opportunity, even with 3 seconds to go.
Good have these guys been.
Pretty well done it again. You know, I said earlier in the game, the odds of these two guys being as good here in Game 6 as they were in Game 5, not very good. The odds of one of them being as good, even better. When they've had to be, they've both been just about as good, although there haven't been the spectacular saves because there haven't been the great scoring chances.
Shot in by Stevens. So for these two goaltenders, they give up 1 goal each through 3 periods. 29 shots for the Stars and 31 for the Devils. The goals coming a minute 9 apart. Second period. Niedermeyer got his at 5:18 and Keane tied it up at 6:27. So here we go. Overtime when we come back.
I scream, you scream, we all scream for hockey. And NHL Network is serving up your favorite shows all summer.
Can I get a Brodeur, please?
My favorite player.
Can I get a Puxicle, please?
Enjoy.
Wow, back and forth they go. It's been a great series.
Beat the heat with a little hockey all summer on NHL Network.
Let your feet take you wherever your spirit wants to go. The redesigned Hurricane helps you navigate any surface so it truly stands alone. Move forward with confidence at hurricane.com.
We were wondering if anything happened to us.
We want you to take the kids.
Doesn't count. What you need is a will, something you can sign and make official. Start your will at trustandwill.com and make it count.
Build the pool yourself. What could go wrong?
Some things are better left to a professional.
It dried so fast.
Like when it comes to finding financial advisors. So leave it to Smart Asset to find them for you. Take the free quiz at smartasset.com. Then you'll be matched with up to 3 vetted fiduciary financial advisors. To get started, take the Advisor Match Quiz now at smartasset.com.
Terrific.
This is the one who keeps it moving. He stocks the right parts and knows just where to find them. Because this is about more than business. The industrial grade products you need. Call, click, or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you certain he'll fit?
Sure.
Are you for imprint certain?
Certainty matters. Need promo gear? 4imprint certainly got it. Apparel, drinkware, bags, and more. Go get it at 4imprint.com.
4imprint for certain.
Take a look at the numbers that they have put up in their careers. Playoff overtime games. Brodeur, 3 wins. Belfour, 17 and 14. We never have time to mention all of the people who work for us, who are the cameramen, technicians, tech operators, people in the truck who do the tape and the graphics. They are magnificent. They have had a very long 3 days. Many of them had 6 o'clock flights on the morning where the game finished at 1:30 to try and get back to Dallas. Worked all day yesterday setting up and preparing, and then today. That is our crew motto. Never surrender.
And we're just trying to get everybody psyched up in the event that this is a rerun of Game 5 for those 6 a.m. flights tomorrow. Should the Dallas Stars win. We will point out there are no TV timeouts in overtime. You've got to be careful how you use your personnel. This is also the long change from your bench. It's the equivalent of the second period. You can't overstay your shifts.
Zubov has already played 30 minutes in this game through the first 3 periods. Devils tend to have their ice time more spread out. Matvichuk will come back on the touch-up, and we are underway. If the goal is scored by the Devils, they will win the Stanley Cup. If it's scored by Dallas, Game 7 will be Monday. And Dallas right now trying to write a very special story. It'll be the first time in NHL history that a team played 2 straight overtime games when facing elimination. The first time Dallas is doing that.
Should the Dallas Stars win and force a Game 7, it'll beg the question, would it be possible for a team to overcome a 3-1 game deficit in a playoff series or playoff year and then be victims of one when they had a 3-1 lead, which is what the Devils could end up facing?
That one is chipped out of the zone. Cote came back to get it. Bobby Holik, Keane still in, delayed offside call here, so the Devils can come out for free. They use their card right there. Holik takes his man down. There'll be no whistle. Everything waved off now. Stevens will pick it up in the middle of Claude Lemieux, and Lemieux sends it in. For New Jersey, Lemieux has had 3 career playoff overtime game winners. McKay, 1. For Dallas, Neuendijk, Hall, Modano, all have had 3. Or Muller, rather, 3. Modano, 2. DiCarbonaro, Keane have 2. A lot of overtime game winners there on the Dallas team in the playoffs. Back to get it. Belfour cleared it around the far side. Goes behind the net to Jason Arnott. Back out. Shot wide near side. Again, this first line. With Sikora out. Shuffle tonight. Elias. He's got McGillney out there now with Elias Arnott. Sent back in by Elias. Martin Brodeur knocked it away. Hatcher coming back to play it. Turning it up ice. 32-29 with the shot, so the Devils the advantage there. Next goal wins. In behind the net it is Stevens. Stevens cleared it around the near side. McKay was waiting and got it. So Randy McKay's in the OT. He wasn't in Game 5. McKay chases down. Behind the net. McKay in front. Centered. Shot! Just missed. Breland! Oh, Sergei Breland went off the heel of his stick. Randy McKay held it in. Belfour around to Zubov. Madden over on him. Madden held it in the zone. McKay struggling. Couldn't get it. Randy McKay. Larry Robinson putting him out there saying, all right, show me. Malakoff shot deflected. McKay in the high slot. No pass to him. Breland. Madden in front. Shot saved. Belfour. Rebound into the corner. Back on top. Malakoff. Malakoff shot saved. Rebound. And it'll be taken by the Stars. Both teams need line changes. Hull realizing that, circle it back. Just off the bench, Kirk Muller. Muller pinned up on the far side. Nemchinov. Nieuwendyk dug it out. Nieuwendyk sent it in. All the way around the boards. Up the half wall. Hull got to it. Centering pass. Sim cutting. Nieuwendyk in. Nieuwendyk. Missed it wide. He missed the net. And he had Martin Brodeur going with him to the other side.
Oh, man. What a move Joe Nieuwendyk made on Sergei Nemchinov and then fired wide. That close to forcing a Game 7. Before that, at the other end, the Devils were that close to winning the Stanley Cup. Here is Nieuwendyk after he made a terrific move on Nemchinov. Who the heck was that for the Devils that came sliding through the wrong way? Watch here. Sergei Nemchinov really went for the bait. And then Joe Nieuwendyk, watch this. No, it was Scott Gomez that came rocketing through the other way head first. Shot wide. Lots of cover for Melanie Brodeur, Marty Brodeur's wife. When people stand, she is hidden now in behind.
If you're watching this Gerber Life Guaranteed Life Insurance commercial, there's a good chance that you're alive. And if you're not, well, this may not be of interest to you. Now, I know what you're thinking. Life insurance? I'm going to live forever. Death is what happens to other people. Well, for the sake of argument, let's assume you're wrong and that someday you won't be watching TV anymore. I know it's not easy to talk about, so I'll do the talking. If you're 50 plus and alive, you can apply for Gerber Life Guaranteed Life Insurance with guaranteed acceptance, regardless of your health. And since this life insurance is guaranteed, you don't have to get a medical exam. In fact, you don't even have to fill out a health questionnaire. For a free quote, just call 800-442-1783. Then when you stop, if you stop watching TV, your family can use the insurance money to help cover your final expenses or anything else. For a free quote, call today, 800-442-1783. Your kids already inherited your ears, allergies, and questionable singing voice. Don't make them inherit your final expense tab too.
This is the story of how a feel-good family film, my whole life and my whole focus was that one script, turned into an NHL franchise.
We clearly did not think about a physical hockey team in Anaheim.
And the remarkable playoff run.
I love that kind of stories.
That landed this unique team on hockey's biggest stage.
That was all good. You got to have fun with some things.
This is NHL Backstory, available on NHL.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Mike Modano has to carry a huge load for this Dallas team. Doing it. 2:32 left in the overtime. Modano will take this face-off yet one more time. And it sits in the circle. Good work by Madden. Tied up Modano and then got it away to Stevens. Into the middle. Dallas will come right back along the near side wall. Modano, but he was outside the line. That'll be whistled offside. 2:20 to go in this first overtime at Reunion Arena.
There's the cooler, and it's not a picnic that is in that. It's just the pucks, and you see that more pucks have arrived. Lots of them. Lots of pucks. Get them back in there and don't let them thaw out, though. Because that really does create a problem, especially at the end of periods when the ice is, getting chopped up. You need them frozen. Matter of fact, I wouldn't mind to see the NHL go into a rule where every time the whistle blows, somebody, the linesman, skate over and get a refrozen puck. Brand new one.
Keep the play more even.
Yeah.
Dubov up the near side, away. Marshall up, Muller. Muller pushed it in along the wall, taken out by Niedermeyer. Marshall deflected off him into Brodeur, and Brodeur will hang on. Notice how Marty Brodeur keeps spinning around. He doesn't want anybody running into his head, so he gets that backside up when he covers.
Yep. But at least it's Saturday. Soon to be Sunday. You don't have another birthday today, do you, Gary?
No, but I want to thank you for saying that on the air, because when I got back to where I stay in New York, I had some wonderful gifts on hand.
Don't worry, I'll let you know when mine's coming up.
I'll get it out there. I owe you. Mike Modano on the face-off. Tip to the near side, and the lost control. Rafalski lost it. Brendan Morrow centered. And it'll be cleared out by Elias. 1:49 to go. Zubov chasing back. Zubov, Claude Lemieux right there. Lemieux is up on the check. Near side, Modano lost it. Lemieux was hanging. The end of Jason Arnott. Arnott tied up by Sloan. No way he was going to let him go to the forehand. Claude Lemieux runs it up along the wall. Back to Arnott. He got tied up. And it'll come through Modano again.
Guess
penalty
what?
coming up behind the play. A penalty coming up. A penalty coming up.
You bet. It had to be called. This one had to be called. Jason Arnott had Blake Sloan down between his legs, and he cross-checked him right in the side of the head. Remember, in the Edmonton series, Blake Sloan broke his jaw, had 2 plates inserted surgically. The incisions were inside his mouth. He can actually feel one of the plates if you feel under his jaw on the bottom. And when Arnott had him down, he crushed him with a cross-check right on the side of the head. Right here. Watch this. Bang, like that. Right on the neck and the jaw, and just pinned his head to the ground. And you know what? Bill McCurry was standing there watching it, and they want to let things go in overtime, yes, but you could not let that go.
Jason Arnott goes to the box. No penalties in the 3 overtimes we had that resulted in a power play in that last game. There will be one here.
But there are 2 things on that play. Number 1, Blake Sloan was in a vulnerable position. Number 2, he's already got a broken jaw, and he's wearing that. That's why he's wearing the special cage. I know Jason Arnott was frustrated here because Sloan had hog-tied him. But look at that. Right in front of one of the refs, too.
18:43, so there's a minute 17 to go here in the first overtime. The 2-minute minor goes up on the board. 0 for 3 on the power play for Dallas in this game. 2 for 15 in the playoffs. The Devils penalty killing, as we said, 91% effective in the playoffs and killing them off. Here we go. Shot deflected right off the draw. Nieuwendyk. Power play opportunity. Hull's got it. Dallas with a chance to send it to 7. Hull, Nieuwendyk. Hull trying to get open on the near side dot. Hull goes to the other side now. Matvichuk and Cote back. There's Cote, got it in the skates. Leaves it over to Matvichuk. Matvichuk looking, under a minute left to go in this overtime period. Back he comes to Modano. Hull and Nieuwendyk up front. Matvichuk and Cote. Matvichuk with it. Matvichuk, Cote open far side. There he is. Looking again in front. Shot. Hull blasted it wide. Just Hull timed it.
Perfect out of the playbook. That's exactly how Dallas sets it up to get Brett Hull looking in the slot. The pass goes bang from the top, bang down to Modano, and then right to Brett Hull, and he pulled the trigger and shot it wide.
Devils avoided a very real bullet right there. And cleared back in. 23 to go in the overtime period. More than that on the power play. Zubov, one-timer. Deflected wide by Hull. Niedermeyer around far side. Cote holds it in. Modano pushes it back to Hull. Hull looking to the point. Zubov there. Zubov had to get on to block it. Lemieux knocks it away. And Zubov's got to come back to chase it down. The Devils have a short-handed goal in this game that Niedermeyer scored. Keane's got the other one. And there will be 42 seconds left on the power play when we start the second overtime.
And there will be a fresh sheet of ice to work that power play on. The Dallas Stars, I think, did remarkably well to work the puck around as effectively as they did, considering that this is the end, just the end of the 4th period of play here in Dallas tonight.
Well, Melanie, the wife of Martin Brodeur, didn't have to worry a lot there because Dallas got 1 shot on goal in that overtime. New Jersey had 11.
Nightly highlights, live games, and insightful analysis. This is NHL Network.
Hey, I'm Ray's procrastination. You know, he'd want to take care of stuff, especially around the house. And I'm like, nice try, man. But then he started using Thumbtack. And now he's got planning tools to make it easy to get projects done. Even easier than not doing anything at all. Totally harsh, man.
Procrastination doesn't live here. You do. Take care of your home with Thumbtack. Download the app today.
Want your car's paint to look like this? Well, now it can with Cerakote's #1 selling rapid ceramic paint sealant. Seal and protect your paint with unbelievable gloss, shine, and slickness in less than 30 minutes. Simply spray it on and lightly buff it with the included microfiber towels. Look at the rich gloss with endless depth and mirror-like shine.
You can hear it. This side over here, it's clearly been treated, just rolled right off. This side, not so much.
This is very nice. And it took you how long to apply it? Like 10 minutes? And then it just sets? Wow, and it looks much healthier too. That's very nice.
Look at the difference with Cerakote's true hydrophobic ceramic technology. Water just blows right off. The level of gloss and slickness is unbelievable. With over 40,000 5-star reviews, Cerakote is guaranteed to be the glossiest, slickest, and easiest to apply paint sealant you have ever used. Buy any of Cerakote's ceramic products for under $20 today.
Did you fudge your height and weight?
I would never lie. I can't tell you 5'10" and meet you in person. You'll realize then.
You get the Twitter trolls out there. I DM'd some guys.
Did you?
Oh, yeah. Well, some guys were saying some stuff, and I said, hey, listen, I'll be here at this time. Let's go. My son, he's going, Dad, you can't do that.
The great thing about Ovi is that, he knows that he's creating some history.
Definitely when I do it, I feel bad about myself.
We are entertainers. These people are paying to come watch me play. Let's give them the best show we can.
Big penalty, could be. It'll be 42 seconds remaining on the power play as Jason Arnott got called on the cross-check. So the Dallas power play continues. This is their 4th power play of the game. 0 for 3 on the power play, and they've given up a short-handed goal to Niedermeyer. Devils looking to win the cup right here. Cleared out by Brodeur on the high flip, right to Eddie Belfour.
Boy, does that help. Marty Brodeur can actually lift a puck standing at one end of the rink and have it land across the goal line just in front of the end boards at the other end.
Dallas can't control it. Ken Danico, 12 seconds left on the power play chance. Belfour came back to get it. 42-30 the shots in the game in favor of the Devils. 10-1 the shots in the first overtime in favor of New Jersey. Modano's sticking out, and the power play is over. So Arnott's out. They do not. Dallas does not convert on the power play in overtime.
Multiple overtime records for the guys in net. Marty Brodeur, 1 win, 5 losses. Eddie Belfour an even 500 at 4-4.
Road teams have won the last 11 multiple overtime games. Road teams.
Randy McKay is in this hockey game. That was a shot of McKay, who did not see the ice in overtime in Game 5. He has played a bunch, and his talk with Larry Robinson obviously did him some good. He went to Larry Robinson and said, I can play.
Not amazing. Elias sends it in. Hatcher coming back with McGillney on his back. Up the near side boards. Dallas looking to clear their own zone. They do. Sim touched off the puck by Arnott. Came back. Colin White wide side for Malakoff. Sergei Zubov has played 39.5 minutes through the first overtime, the most of anybody out there on the ice. Far side Colin White hit put on. Puck came free. Devils get it out. Near side Elias. Elias moves to the middle. Elias the backhander into the corner. McGillney. Elias and Arnott on this first line now. Backed in behind the net. Nobody there, and Hatcher will come back to get it. Hatcher up for Sim, and John Sim clears it out. Devils changing behind the play. There's Niedermeyer, who just came out. He can shoot. And it'll be gloved by Belfour, and he'll hang on.
Here's Claude Lemieux, and the last time we saw him, could have sworn he had an A for alternate captain. Check this out. What's happening there? They're cutting it off.
You're now a private. You've been reduced from sergeant to private.
Brandon.
Obviously, it was just loose. It was falling off, so rather than have it dangling there, they cut it off. And no time to sew it back on. Off the face-off, Guy Carbonneau up the near side. Danico stepped in to get it and moved to center though by the Stars. Big time checking by Lemieux, freed it up. Pandolfo's got it. Pandolfo coming in, just sent it in along the near side wall. Eddie Belfour around far side. Lemieux goes sprawling on the ice. Bobby Holik out there. He and Thornton do battle. A couple of heavyweights right there. Eddie Belfour came out to help up the near side. Not out. Danico. Pandolfo in the corner. Zubov took him down. Puck freed up. Manson had it. Lost it. It's underneath the bodies. Came free again to Guy Carbonneau. Carbonneau was going to pass to the middle. Holik backed off, so he'll bring it out himself. And Dallas. Zubov. Blue line. Poke check. Just a gentle little touch by Danico, and that's all it took. Get it back out to center. Dallas changing it up. Both teams trying to keep these shifts as short as they can. Coming off the triple overtime to a double overtime now. Making sure nobody stays out there too long. Off the near side. Stevens. Red line. Tried to get it in. Blocked by Sloan. Taken out of the play by McKay. Stick goes flying. Sloan broke his stick. Devils have McKay in front. Shot right through the middle. Stevens has got it. Stevens, his shot. That deflected wide. Matvichuk over to get it. Matvichuk flipped it out to Madden. Went by him to Rafalski to Stevens. Near side it comes to Breland. Breland dropped it off and it went wide. Morrow going over. Left it and Hatcher will play it. And it's cleared out to center. Sergei Breland 5 shots on goal along with McGillney to lead the New Jersey Devils. And Gomez, all three have 5 shots on goal coming into the second overtime. Matvichuk backed it up behind the net for Hatcher. Hatcher got it up into the middle. Check put on, freed up. Jason Arnott bounced away at center. Eliash got it. Eliash sends it in. Arnott trying to run the far side wall. Matvichuk on the puck though. Still held in by Eliash. Neuendijk, they do battle. Around the near side. Dallas having trouble clearing here as the Devils put the heat on. Centered. Came back out onto the point. Shot Melikov save made by Belfour. And behind the net, McGillney partially deflecting that. Near side boards and out of there. Melikov reaching. Got it away from Muller and left it there for Colin White. 4.5 minutes into the second overtime. Cleared ahead Eliash. Hull drops it off on the wide side. 4 shots for Hull, 5 for Zubov. The lead Dallas in shots through the first OT. And Belfour around 4. Brett Hull. New Jersey's had the only 2 shots so far in the second overtime. Madonna, Hull, open shot. Save, but it isn't behind anybody. Got it. Brett Hull. No matter how late you go into a game, that cannon is always loaded.
Man. He had time, too, to get really good wood on it. Marty Brodeur lost sight of it. Somehow it was hidden under him. I couldn't see it from where we are either. Here's Brett Hull. Look at the whip in that stick. His stick is so whippy. Shot it on the ice. That was right under him. Right under him. He did not know where it was. When you don't know where it is, as long as it's not behind, sit down. Just get down on it. Oh. Martin Brodeur's wife is here and grimacing every time the shot comes towards her husband.
Randy McKay taken out far side. Niedermeyer comes around the net with it. Moved into the zone. Devils. Breland's line back out. Randy McKay with him. McKay got it in behind the net. Again, unable to control. Like Keane on the flip out of the zone. Niedermeyer back. Niedermeyer and Danico defensively. Bobby Holik on this line. Thornton trying to move it up. Holik reaches back and gets it. Breland's in the middle with him. Eddie Belfour played it off the boards as Breland moved in. Up the near side. Cote. Let's go Stars is the chant. Yuri Letnin dumped it in behind the net. Letnin stays out with Keane, who gets his helmet ripped off. Madonna quickly comes out to join the line here. Well, Ken Hitchcock said he was going to double shift Mike Modano, and he has certainly done that in this game. Modano's played almost 35 minutes through the first overtime. Matvichuk will chase it down. How tired must the players be at this point? Not because of this game, but the last one. That's offside.
NetCredit is here to say yes to a personal loan or line of credit, even when other lenders won't.
When you say yes, when you
Apply online in minutes and get funds deposited the next business day or sooner. Go to netcredit.com. NetCredit. Credit to the people.
No, let's put that back. No, juice is full of sugar. No, no juice, no sugar, no sweeteners. Okay, yes. Yes!
Saying yes to hit kids.
Certain that's our ride? Yeah.
Are you 4imprint certain?
Certainty matters. Experience certainty with 4imprint. High-quality promotional products, expert service, and guaranteed on-time delivery. Visit 4imprint.com.
4imprint for certain.
The dentist will be right in.
Hey, I heard you're retiring soon. You excited?
Yeah, Doc, but there's so much to consider. Medicare, finances. Oh, and I lose my dental insurance.
You can get your own from Physicians Mutual. Easiest decision ever. It's real dental insurance that's real affordable. Well, I think my work here is done.
Wait, what?
Hey, I heard you're retiring soon. You excited?
Affordable dental insurance from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company. One of the easiest retirement decisions you can make. For a free information kit, call now. This dental insurance helps cover over 400 procedures. Everything from cleanings and fillings to crowns and dentures. See any dentist you want with no deductibles and no annual maximum.
Well, I think my work here is done.
Wait, what?
To get your free information kit with all the details, call now or visit sendinfokit.com.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
You know, we're going to go back to that Claude Lemieux having that A taken off of his jersey. He had it when he came out to warm up for the second overtime, but you see that he didn't have it during the first overtime. And if you look at the roster, Randy McKay and Jason Arnott are listed as the alternate captains. So they were ripping this off before the period started. And Claude Lemieux had to be getting a dry jersey or changing a jersey, yet it's got the nameplate on the back. He might have worn that A during a time when Jason Arnott was injured. Hard to say, but the rules state you're allowed one captain and two alternate captains. So a little bit of knife work on the A there to make sure Claude Lemieux didn't come out with one.
They'll want a bench minor call for a violation of the rules there. Near side, Aliage got it up, not out. Hatcher, the backhander in front, swept away by Colin White. McGillney. McGillney down the middle. McGillney poke checked away by Hatcher. Hatcher went diving on the ice and got it away from McGillney, who'd gotten behind the D. Back comes Dallas, swept away. Jason Arnott to McGillney again. McGillney, the near side. Aliage in the zone onside.
How big has Darian Hatcher been? I mean, bigger than 6'5". What a game he's played.
He has been big on hits. He's had a couple of blocked shots. Vitally important. Back comes Modano. In behind the net, loose. Trying to get it to Modano. Cleared around him by Stevens. Zubov blocked the attempt out by Madden. Madden tries again and gets it there. Modano was trying to work his way free in the middle. Tipped back in by Sloan. Stevens. Rafalski off the boards. Manson there. Manson's pass deflects back Zubov. Zubov's got Madden moving in on him. Into the middle, looking for Sloan cutting. The tip to Sloan. He'll have to chase down. Brodeur played it for Stevens. Stevens had it blocked by Sloan. Squirts free. Guy Carmino centered. Stevens was there. Stevens gets it out. Madden saw the hit coming, trying to hold up. Manson was there on it.
Larry Robinson obviously doesn't think his rookies are playing like rookies. He had two of them on that one line, Madden and Gomez.
He has lived by the words he spoke. I don't consider them rookies at this point, and that's just the way he's playing, as though they are veterans. Here's Thornton. Thornton looking. Behind the net, Guy Carmino. Carmino lost it. Turnaround shot blocked by Niedermeyer. And Niedermeyer will send it back over to Randy McKay. 12:16 to go, second overtime. Intended for Pandolfo. It got blocked and ended up going onto the bench. Still 1-1.
Which makes yesterday, well, that's for another time.
Another story.
Here's the big play with the long reach of Darian Hatcher. Alexander McGillney would have had a golden scoring opportunity if not for the dive of Darian Hatcher.
Off the draw at center. This one back to Stevens. Lettinen moved over him. McGillney got it away to Nemchinov. Nemchinov sent it in. Breland taken down by Cote and Hard. And Breland shook up a bit as his head went into the dasher.
Whole body went in. Everything looked like it hit at the same time. Remember, the Devils are already down one forward. Peter Sikora only played 3 minutes and 16 seconds before he was nailed by Darian Hatcher and carried off on a stretcher. Yikes. Could have hurt him anywhere, you know that? Ankle, knee, head.
We'll cover the body on that one. I want to remind you to stay tuned for your local news over most of these ABC stations. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement here at 11:57 to go in the second OT. And if you missed it earlier, Breland out there doing the work is all right heading back. Sikora taken to a hospital where they did the MRI. And no damage found. Good news for him. Stevens winds up, takes it. That one wide. And boy, they got a couple of screens the Devils did in front. Back to the point. Stevens stepped up to hold it in. Hull stole it. Stevens holds it in again. Shot it right through the top of the crease. Elias centered shot. Score! The New Jersey Devils have won the Stanley Cup. Jason Arnott with the game-winning overtime goal.
Oh, finally the ending of the movie that Melanie Brodeur has been watching. The Dallas Stars with an incredible effort to try to keep this thing alive, but finally a mistake. And Jason Arnott in absolutely the right place to handcuff Ed Belfour, and the Devils are the champions.
They win it at 8:20 of the second overtime. The fans applauding everybody. The chant is Eddie, Eddie, rightfully for their goaltender. But the New Jersey Devils have won the Stanley Cup.
Oh. Patrick Elias, what a play. But nobody thought about Jason Arnott. He was in behind Sylvain Cote. He took his time and just deposited a nice little one-timer past Ed Belfour. Then he started to shed the gear. He was getting ready to be jumped on by 20 guys, and right now he loves.
Claude Lemieux has won his 4th Stanley Cup. 2 of them have come with the New Jersey Devils, 1 with Colorado and 1 with Montreal. The goal at 8:20 by Jason Arnott is 4th of the finals, 8th of the playoffs. And Elias and Scott Stevens pick up the assists.
Oh boy. The Devils are still celebrating, and the Dallas Stars have started the handshake, the ceremonial handshake. What a play by Patrick Elias. What a play. Without their third man on this line, the chemistry still existed. Sikora in a hospital, probably watching us on TV right now, saw his 2 lineys, Jason Arnott and Patrick Elias, end this in the second overtime period.
The celebration and the line now formed. The 6th coaching change to go to the finals, and the 3rd to win a Stanley Cup when there's been a coaching change during the regular season. Larry Robinson, 1st cup as a head coach, 6 as a player, 1 as an assistant. The coaching staffs, Jarvis right there, he had his hand on his head, 2 great Canadians.
And he was a great teammate of Larry Robinson's for many years in Montreal.
The Devils were the last Eastern Conference team to win the Cup. They've done it again here in 2000. The game winner to Jason Arnott. Scott Stevens, is he the MVP?
I think he will win the Conn Smythe Trophy as the MVP of the playoffs for what he did defensively against some of the greatest offensive powerhouses in the sport.
He matched up against the best forwards opposing teams had throughout this playoff year. The Devils outshot Dallas in the overtimes 14-2.
They went for it, didn't they? They came out and went for it.
They were not going to go back, if they had any say about it, to a Game 7. They come away with the win on the road. Great veterans right there. Another great veteran in the losing cause, Brian England, down on the ice waiting as Mike Modano goes through the line. Brian England. Brian.
I'm here with Mike Modano. Mike, as you look back at the series, I mean, you got in a hole down 3-1. Was it just too big a hill to climb?
I think so. I think, you know, our 2 home games that we had here were real tough, 3 and 4. That was really kind of a pivotal point of the series. We fought back. You know, played a great team. They played outstanding. Brodeur was magnificent again, and both goalies were outstanding. So, hats off to them. It's a great thing to accomplish. I know those Gomez are not how they're feeling. It's a great feeling.
Over the last 2 years, you and several of your teammates have played over 200 games. Was the energy level and the emotional tank just getting empty?
Well, you get to this point, I think there's really no emptiness in the tank. Some nights you feel like you're running on fumes, but you know, it's a great thing we've accomplished here the last 3 or 4 years, and the fans have been great.
Congratulations, Mike. Thanks very much for joining us. Let's go to Darren Pang.
Thank you very much, Brian. The victorious goaltender. Second time now you've won the Stanley Cup. I know you've had your wife, your kids following you around. You've got to be absolutely elated, Marty.
Oh, this is an unbelievable feeling. I think this time around, I think I realized it a little more. And, you know, what an effort. You know, these guys played hard, and it was really hard. I'm just glad it's all over now, and we're in the good side of it.
I noticed that you just finally saw where your wife and your kids were sitting.
I was looking at them the whole game. I couldn't find them, and finally now they're up there, and I'm really happy that all my kids are here to see that.
Marty, congratulations. Really great stuff, buddy.
Thank you very much.
Gary and Bill?
All right, Darren, thanks very much. We're going to go to Bill Orman, the PA announcer here in Dallas. There's Lou Lamoriello, the GM, with Kenny Danico, who's been here forever. The big smiles. There's Gary Bettman, commissioner of the National Hockey League, out there with the Conn Smythe Trophy. That'll be awarded first, and then the Stanley Cup.
To present the Conn Smythe Trophy.
Now the Conn Smythe Award. And Gary Bettman will be out there to do the award.
The winner of the Conn Smythe Trophy as the 2000 playoff MVP, Captain Scott Stevens.
He may never get away to go and get the trophy from Gary Bettman, the way he is being bear hugged.
He became captain 92-93 of the Devils, and Bill, that's a great story. I mean, one of the big fights was with St. Louis over Stevens, whether or not he'd leave or not. Here he is, Conn Smythe now, and a Stanley Cup winner, all in a dispute with the Blues about a deal. There it is, Conn Smythe, emblematic of the MVP of the Stanley Cup playoffs, the 6th defenseman ever to win the Conn Smythe.
With that smile, we have not seen that smile in this playoff round simply because of Scott Stevens' intensity. Nobody plays harder in this sport than Scott Stevens.
One of the other defensemen who won it, his coach, Larry Robinson. Conn Smythe.
Sorry,
Let's get
Gary.
on the ice.
Larry, you were the first one to jump. You must have jumped 3 feet high when Scotty Stevens was named the Conn Smythe Trophy winner.
It's you know, Marty played unbelievable, but you know, really through the whole series, Scotty has just been a tower of strength, and he's very, very deserving of it. He's got that C on his chest for a reason. He's been our leader throughout this series and throughout all the playoffs.
Larry, you don't want to take credit for what happened in that Philadelphia series, but as a coach, did you grow because of a situation like that?
No, I've had to yell a little bit when I was in LA, but no, this is not about me. I'm happy for those guys that are out there, and I just like to make mention to as well about Sutton and Bombardier and Kelly and Stevie Brule, who, you know, sat in the sidelines, and I know Stevie Brule came in and played a couple of big games for us, or at least one game anyway, and Kelly came in the Florida series, and so I'd like to make mention to them because they are also a part of this team and very deserving.
Well, Larry Robinson, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Now let's go to the commissioner, Gary Bettman, with the Stanley Cup.
Here is the moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Stanley Cup.
Patrick Elias actually has Peter Sikora's jersey draped over his shoulders in honor of the man that is in the hospital right now watching this.
There is Lord Stanley's Cup. This is what it is all about. 1893, the original first bowl was $48.67. Awarded to the Amateur Hockey Association of Canada. The National Hockey League took it over in 1927.
The Stanley Cup is the hardest trophy to win once, and even harder to defend the second time. The Dallas Stars played like true champions with the Stanley Cup. In congratulating the New Jersey Devils, when you look at a hockey team, you have to look at the organization from the top. The Devils have been owned for almost 20 years by John McMullen, and this Stanley Cup is a tribute to the passion that he has for the game of hockey and for his New Jersey Devils. When you think of dedication, teamwork, hard work, and doing the right thing, you think of Lou Lamoriello, the president and general manager. Congratulations to Lou as well. Larry Robinson and the coaching staff, another Hall of Fame performance, Larry, for your career. Congratulations. I know the Devils fans in New Jersey are watching this. Congratulations to you as well. 1995 seems a long time ago and a short time ago in a lot of respects, but the fans hung with the team, and I know the team drew strength from your support. Last but not least, the players. This is a team that had its ups and downs this year, played through adversity, came through when it mattered. To win the Stanley Cup, you need to have heart. This team has championship heart. Scott Stevens, I'm proud to present you with the Stanley Cup.
Played in every playoff game ever played by the New Jersey Devils. He was the third man to hoist it after Randy McKay, Scott Stevens, and Melanie can say, yeah, I can watch this. I don't have to hide my eyes anymore.
Lamoriello, the GM, with him. Second cup in 6 years for the New Jersey Devils. Final year of ownership, John McMullen. Let's check in with Brian Engblom again. Brian.
Scott Stevens, and Scotty, just tell me about the emotions you're feeling right now.
Well, I'm a little tired to feel anything, but it's unbelievable. I mean, this is a dream come true for our team and for myself, and it's just so exciting. It's different to win on the road. It's just great, but the Stars never gave up. You have to give them credit. They just fought and fought, and they never tired, and it was a heck of a series.
I know all playoffs long, you were telling all the young guys on your team, and you got several that you may never get another chance. Scotty, you're 36 years old. Were you playing like this was your last chance?
Well, yeah, and I was telling them that, so they'd play hard for me because, like you said, Brian, you don't get too many chances, and I'm getting up there, but this is so sweet, and I'm just going to enjoy.
A game like that?
I don't know. You just have to do your homework, and I've done it quite a bit in the past, so I know all the players. And this was a tough challenge against these guys. They pass the puck so well, and they don't put themselves in a position to get hit. And you just got to play position. But Marty did a great job to help out. No question about that.
Congratulations. Go have some fun, Scott.
Thank you, Brian. Thanks.
Let's go back upstairs to Gary Thorne.
The cup continues to be skated. The New Jersey Devils have won it, and the celebration will continue here, and Stevens got an assist of the game-winning goal at 8:20 for Marta de Liliash. For Bill Clement and I upstairs, that'll cover us.